Hello, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here with my reflections of my tarot journal and decks that I used for the month of May 2022. I have my two journals here. As always, we'll start with my beloved moon diary. I'll go to May. So the herb for the month of May in this diary is mint, and I did say I was going to attempt to use it in my kind of daily life and kind of integrate it into what I do. And I already naturally had, of course, May is prolific for mint in the garden here. So I already had an abundance of strawberry mint and some peppermint and lemon balm coming up in the garden. So that made it easy to use it in drinks and just to be around it in the garden for smell and scent and working with it, literally touching it with my hands. So that was easy to do. I had some mint, or I have mint shampoo and conditioner in the bathroom. Again, that was already in place, ready to go. And I had some great mint teas for drinking. So that was wonderful. And the only other thing that I had that came in was some mint eucalyptus and, well, a variety of essential oils. So I got to make some house washes and things to clean and cleanse the house with the mint for clarity and clarification and protection and all the good things. And mint is also meant to be a good herb for bringing in prosperity into the home. So that was a really nice way of using the mint or the herb throughout my kind of monthly practice and in daily usage, really, in the house. So as you can see, this is the diary where I expand on my daily card pulls. So I list my card and then I write more about it rather than just keywords. I go into a little bit more depth here. And because May is the month of my birthday, I've gone with rainbows and multicolored pens. All my usual pens. These are the fountain pens that I use. And as you see, they come in a variety of different colours. So we had a couple of days where we missed a few things. And that is the month of May. And yes, there were still a few days where I literally just put a keyword in here, just to remind me of the card that I pulled. So that is how my month of May went through. And finishing on the 31st of May. And then we are now moving into June. And for June, we have the herb skullcap. I haven't looked into this yet, but I will look more into this and see how I may choose to use it or use another herb in its place. But that is where I'm at. And so that's the moon diary from the FlickeringCauldron. If you go to the Etsy page, they have currently got the one for 2023 on pre-order. So you can get that one to make sure that you don't miss out, because I know so many people miss out on these because they sell like hotcakes when they come through in pre-orders, usually in September. So we're being honoured with it being out early. I've been on the waiting list since March or April, so I'm hoping I might actually get my hands on it soon. And they still have, I believe there is a Egyptian moon diary, so you might be able to get that one if you're wanting to partake in the year, but it'll have different things in it. It won't have the herbs and the magic in this one. It will have different correspondences to do with Egypt and the gods. So my daily diary, or my most, my normal tarot journal. This is the A5 cheap jotter, pack of 3 for £4 from the Range or somewhere like that. I think I went, and it's the ones that I've been enjoying the most using, actually, out of all the expensive ones I've purchased last year. There you can see my month ahead grid is in. We have the rainbow colours, lots of colour, lots of pinks and splashes for the fact that it was birthday month. We have from my calendar spread from last year, the last set for this year. We have the card of the month and the oracle of the month. That was pre-pulled, pre-planned. And actually, do you know what? We had the 5 of Fire for May. This was pulled 12 months ago. Conflicting thoughts, movement, differences. As many of you know, month of May had Mercury in retrograde, causing a lot of kind of disruption to our communication. that was really fitting with the new beginnings, life expanding, new experiences and ideas. So there were some things that I experienced that I hadn't really gone through before. I had my beloved Grand's funeral to contend with, and all those emotions, and a few other things, you know, the new job, learning to be the bottom of the pecking order, and all those sorts of beautiful things that happened to us. I kept my throwdown page for May, as the washi tape keeps coming up there, and I haven't used it all up actually, so I was going to pull some cards for my birthday and I actually didn't get around to it, so simply time. My wish was for some quality time, and I just did a doodle instead. In fact, I think the word time came to me first and then I doodled around it. So yeah, so there's my throwdown. So you can see I've like stuck in stickers to correspond, or I've just simply written if it wasn't, because over here 15th May I just pulled Oracle for the day and wrote it down. Slow down and look around. Then my week aheads. I quite like the colour combos that I've used actually this month in general. This one's slightly more grown up or subdued for me, but I think it's worked neatly, and we still do have my splash of colour that I love to have. We have the orange to bring in the energy for Beltane. So Monday the 2nd of May, starting here. And I'm using Sawyers Path and the Beltane Witch's Oracle. And on this day I didn't feel like pulling any cards. This one I just put, why is journaling important to me? So some of the things that I get from journaling, things like, so doing this, for those that also wonder, it gives me a creative outlet, whether it's through colour expression on my page, as you see, or if it's through drawing, which I've done previously in my journals. I might draw a card onto my page. And this also gives me like pictorial reference, like recognition. It might help me deep dive into a card to see more about what's in the card because I'm spending time looking at it and drawing it, or I might pick elements off the card and draw those. This also gives me the verbal growth sometimes, understanding of the cards, deeper meanings, because when you're journaling for yourself, you have time to pick up the book and look through it and see what the creator of the deck was trying to convey in that card. And if it's an unusual deck, again, you can also learn more about the card and expand on your own knowledge of a card. That's why I do the keywords here. And these might change. I've never actually done a comparison between what I think of all these keywords as I've gone along, but that might be something that was interesting to look back on retrospectively. It kind of gives you life learning and experiences. It helps me to embed the cards into life experiences and learning, and bring in other meanings, feelings, hidden depths to that card. So that's another thing that I get from doing this. It can help you to uncover and work through aspects of your personality that have been previously unrecognised as well. So that's self-help, self-work, self-worth kind of thing. It gives me moments of peace to think, to process. Sometimes it creates that space to breathe, you know, when you're just, even the mundane task of drawing a border, when you're fully immersed into drawing that border on your page, your mind is empty for that second, and there's nothing else going on, just you, the pen, the piece of paper, and space. It gives you the artistic license. I'm not the best speller in the world, and when I kind of started to develop a chronic illness 10 years ago, it messed with my spelling even more so, and there was almost like a dyslexia that came out that I've never had before. And it turns out it is quite common and linked to some traits of that illness. So it gives me a space to just do that and not be embarrassed, because you know when you're writing on screen, the pressure to spell or write correctly, and we have the grammar police and spelling police that feel they have the right to correct you without even considering that you might have a cognitive impairment that doesn't allow you to spell correctly. You know it's not right, you're embarrassed already. You do not need to be called out by those people. And this gives me space to do that here in my book. Visual stimulation, colours, it just helps play with my own creativity, and then I've got like plenty of other things here, but most importantly, I've kind of like my keywords, concepts, connection, understanding, deeper understanding of personal connection to the cards and how to create a story. It gives you that storytelling ability as well, creating sentences with cards. So that was why journaling is important to me. So that's a little addition to what I've normally shown and tell you. Here I have a Boho Tarot from the Facebook group, Simple Sunday Spread. What does my guiding spirit have for me today? And you can quite see, if you recognise that deck, that's Sawyers Journey. Or is it Sawyers Path? So as I've said, I lost my gran, and I've not had the best, easiest of times dealing with it. So I have a page here which is dedicated. It's from the 365 Days of Tarot by Sasha Graham, and it's accepting loss spread. So you can see we have, I think this is meant to be an angel actually, and it's not a short spread, it's a 10 card spread. I've labelled the cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it's 9, 10. That's the layout for the cards there, and then I've written them down and put my feelings and findings in there as well, which you might just be able to see on camera. And yeah, it's kind of dedicated to my Estonian grandma. So lots of things in there going on. I have my Goddess of the Month spread, which this month is Hell. So that's an Ethony spread here. So I have my spread there and the colours representing, corresponding to that. I cannot remember what deck I used. I haven't written it down. And then I did an Unbinding Stuck Energy. So this is like a runes spread that you can do, but I did it with tarot cards. So one for each question: what is coming to me, what my guide wants me to know, what is leaving me, and what is about to change. So that's my kind of quarter spread drawn up there. Here we have the week ahead spread again, so 16th of May to the 20th. Again, I think it's a really pretty, great combination with the neons, and just using up, as I say, all of this washi tape and pens. These were all already here. I've had them for 2 years now, so I'm just working my way through them, using them up, and trying to be sensible about spending. Then we have another Ethony spread, so the full moon and lunar eclipse in Scorpio, May the 16th, and I used the Moonchild Tarot for that. So that's here, and I had the word come to me while I was doing this spread, and the word was becoming. So the whole spread to me is about becoming. Just a little twinkle twinkle little star sticker down the bottom. The next week ahead, so Monday the 23rd to Friday the 27th, my birthday week. So gone a little bit more flamboyant with the colours, and this is my favourite washi tape, so that's on my page, and I've got the hearts for kind of bunting. Little birthday reminder to myself. I actually went to the cinema, took my partner, we went to the cinema and we watched the new Top Gun Maverick film, and I booked the 4DX seats, so it's like being in a simulator and the seats were all moving while we're watching the film. I've never sat in seats like that before, so it was quite an entertaining thing to do. I don't think I'd go to the cinema and sit in those for just any film. It would have to be a high octane, high action car chase or something type film, so it was perfect for that film, although I would still love to see the film in a nice big comfy squishy sofa, maybe at the other cinema, so I can spend time, feeling the film rather than being thrown around in my chair. And we have the new moon spread here for Ethony. Changed up my cards. As we came into the 30th and 31st, my mood had kind of changed from the week before. Don't ask me what happened. I'm not really sure. It might just be the fact that I was struggling in work, and my whole kind of ethos and outlook changed a wee bit and got a bit darker. So I have cards here. I'm not going to show these today, but yeah, that's a picture of the different deck that I use, which is a Dark Angels and Alice in Wonderland. And then I have my week ahead spread. I think I continued to use, looking at the names of the cards, Warrior of Water. Warrior of Air. I think I might have continued to use those cards, but it's not that important. So this was for the last 2 days of May, or this week right now, the one that we are in, because tomorrow is the 3rd of June. And I was only in work for 2 days. So my week ahead spreads, as I've said before, are for my working week. So I was only in for 2 weeks, and then I did like a what did I learn of my 2 days, and I had so I've done that this morning actually. And we were having some, like, there's some issues that need addressing in work. So that's that. And then we're into June. So today is a bank holiday. It's a Thursday, the bank holiday. That's why you've got me doing this today. Let's take a look at the cards I worked with. There's actually quite a few today. Oh, and there was one other thing, actually, I forgot. So I talk about my year ahead calendar spread. It's here. It's gone into the front of this journal. It's stuck in. So I did that for my solar return, May the 27th. Took a picture of my cards and I put that there. So there are some extra decks for extra things because of that here today. Right, if we start with this one. It got the special bag because, so this is the Ghosts and Spirits. I actually, do you know, I haven't walked through this and I don't share it actually. Weirdly, I don't share it much. So this deck is the one I use for grief and loss, and when I need to work through what I'm feeling, and it has been the one that I've been using to work through the loss of my gran, because we lost her in February. Just took a while for the funeral. And so this is the deck that I use for that. It's a beautiful deck. And I do use this with the guidebook because the guidebook has infinite wisdom in it. It's a very small guidebook, but plenty of information to help keep us kind of moving. And that's the backs of those. I don't know why, sorry. I don't know why I've never done a walkthrough of it. This is one of the hidden decks in my collection that you probably didn't know was there. I did one other thing. So the Star Tarot has this gilt edging on it, and because the cards were slightly longer, they were hurting my hands. I couldn't quite get my fingers around them, and then they were cutting in, and the corners where the gilding was on were kind of like bent and they were locking in and sticking together. So I trimmed it, and you can probably see just these were even just because of, you know, my eye. They're slightly off now, but I don't think it matters because I was worried if I do start to work with reversals with this, is it going to ruin my reversal? I really don't think it is. I'm not going to notice that much that's like that, and I don't think it's going to bother me a big deal. And I didn't lose a lot off the cards. I think it was about 2 mil off each end that I've taken, so 4 mil in total off the card, which makes a big difference because that's nearly half a centimetre to being able to get my tiny hands around it. And I couldn't decide on a colour, so I re-edged it in gold and then I did blue. I couldn't work out what I wanted. Now that I look at it, either one would have been good. I probably would have liked it complete as one, but I haven't, so we can't go there. And then you can just see, it's because when I came down the edges, I didn't like how the goldy silver met with the gilding that's already there. And it was bugging me, the difference in the colour as to how it came down. And that's why I went with blue and turned a bunch of them blue. And I was toying with turning them all blue and just having that kind of ombre effect there. But I think it's okay. I think it turned out all right. So that's in answer to Saturnarium, because she was worried as well about my gilding. The decks that I use for my birthday spread, let's get them out of the way, shall we? So we have the Enchanted Maps and the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reid. The backs. These go together like birds of a feather. They go together, of course, because they're made by the same creator. The art is very similar. And I used them for a card for the month. So my tarot went for the month, and then this was the advice for the month that was coming from the card. Some of the cards in this deck, the names have been changed. So the Call for 20, Judgment. Now here we have the Sacred Pool to go with Judgment. 7 of Water, Protecting Treasure. So if you think of 7 of Cups, 7 of Water, 7 of Cups, all those choices. And I love the fact that we've got Protecting Treasure there to go with it. Moonlight and 5 of Fire. Or Wands. 6 of Fire, Rescue. how similar are they? Floating islands. Three of Earth and the Wisdom of Awareness, number 3 as well. I think they go really nicely together because the Three of Earth or Three of Pentacles, we're used to seeing those 3 discs in the background. The Queen of Air and Talisman. And here we have the Fool with Sad Embrace. So yeah, I think they go very nicely together. And the Good Tarot, I think I've used now for 3 years as my year ahead spread. It's a deck I'll probably keep for that reason. I was using the Oracle, as I've mentioned, so the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. Now I used this last month as well, so this one's not going to be too much of a surprise to anyone. You will have seen it before on my channel, lots. So this is a nice, subdued, easy on the eye colour deck. And then I started mixing up what I was doing. So we had Sawyers Path, a tarot journey. That's why I keep getting the name wrong. Those are the backs. So this was originally my spread deck, and then I started using it for daily pulls as well. So it's beautiful coloured artwork in here. And then let's put them together so you can see. Just zoom down a little bit for you. Three of Cups with the Lovers. That's ironic, isn't it? Then we have the Lovers with the Morning Dew, and also with that Morning Dew, so the words just completely escaped me. So the law tradition says that if you go out in the mornings and collect the morning dew off the bushes and rub it onto your face, it gives you youth and also helps you to, I think it can also help you to attract your mate. We have Queen of Swords with Vision, clarity of mind. Here we have our Empress with Surrender. Nothing more blissful than the act of letting go, setting yourself free of all that doesn't serve you in order to create your divine beginnings. And what I love about this Empress is her, it's like her necklace of the moon cycles around her neck there. I can't remember what we call that, a cornucopia of food that she's got. The Sun with Manifestation. Ace of Cups, Earth Worship. So yeah, really enjoyed working with those. The next one, excuse me reaching across, was the Tarot of the Divine. Hilariously, Richie at Longman Tarot just did a live talking about this deck, and I was just like, oh, I feel like I should know that deck. I don't have it. I've just spent the month working with it. So that's very typical me. Here we have the Ace of Cups with Earth Worship. The Empress and Ribbons. Page of Sword. Knight of Swords with Hand Fasting. Colour combination wise, I think they're aesthetically quite pleasing. This was weird. All my decks were aesthetically pleasing. Here we have the Fool with Milk and Butter, and both water feelings to the cards, and they've both got those subdued yellows and peaches and pinks to them as well. The Knight of Coins with Phoenix. Here we have the yellow. So there is a good Four of Cups with Flower Crown. So there's a nice combination of colour, situation, and the messages do go quite nicely together. Just show you a few more from the Divine Tarot. That's that one. And then for my moon spreads, the Moonchild Tarot. So
So this is a big deck. These are the backs. Gold gilding, but it's that matte gold gilding on the sides. And we have the cards. So this one has some extra cards in it, the Moonchild being one of them, which is ironically on the top. So we have Queen of Swords with the Green Man. We have the Star and Pegasus. So that's quite a beautiful one, isn't it? Queen of Pentacles with growth and the just the intricacy. So we have like the floral display in here, which I think you can see, and then you've got them on here as well. And she's got like that dark hair and this dark cloak kind of going down. Sacred Waters with our Five of Swords. Five of Pentacles with Primal. Two of Pentacles with the Love Spell. Five of Cups with our Sun God. So yeah, that is what I have been up to for the month of May. I have plenty of things to flip through, walk through, show. I just haven't got round to doing it yet. But I hope we're still inspiring you to journal and keep it as a regular habit to learn, grow and expand. And I will see you in the next one. So take care. Bye-bye.